Yippee-ki-yay, Lamar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that a reference to Die Hard? That was such a great movie. Oh my gosh,
They should
man.
they should make more ripoffs of it. Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 24,
Yeah,
Blast, which we
times
thought
two.
which we thought was just one Die Hard ripoff named Blast, but much
Yeah,
to our surprise, you found another one.
yes. So we'll just start off, I guess, comparing both of them. So the first one we found was 1997's Blast.
Right.
That stars Linden Ashby, and if you don't know who that is, Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a classic.
Yes.
That one is he is a retired or what did he do as a martial artist? He failed.
He was in the Olympics for Taekwondo, but then he became kind of like a burnout, right?
Yes.
He has some.
He hurt
problems.
himself.
He got hurt. He hurt his leg, and then he became a burnout.
Yeah.
And now he's a janitor at the Olympic complex, where his wife is the coach of the Olympic women's swim team.
Terrorists come in and kidnap the women's swim team.
Yep.
So that's Blast 1997.
Yeah.
Now we have another one, Blast 2004. This stars Eddie Griffin. Well, I will say is one of my favorite comedians. Okay. And he is a captain of a boat that pulls out the oil rigs. And then some way the terrorists, played by Vinnie Jones.
Also, he used to be a fireman.
Yeah, he used to be a fireman.
He in a fire, he couldn't save his friend in the fire. His buddy died, so he too also became kind of a burnout in a way.
Yes.
And then he's raising his friend's kid. He became the guardian of his friend's kid.
We're going to talk about that little motherfucker. Yeah. But anyway, because I feel like he ruins the movie.
He's worse than the kid from
I knew you were going to say that, and I agree. We'll go into that. And there's certain reasons why he makes the movie worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, terrorists come, environmentalists, so we think, played by Vinnie Jones. They take over the oil rig, basically, that Eddie Griffin was pulling out.
Yeah.
But both of these are basically Die Hard ripoffs.
Die Hard ripoffs.
They have, dang near the same beat. You've already gone through kind of the same thing. They're highly specialized, but the only difference is these guys are kind of burned out.
Yeah. Try to copy the Die Hard beats.
Yeah. We have to, I think, start off, okay, we've already explained the characters. We have to explain the plot of the terrorists.
Yeah. In the newer one, they were environmentalists.
Yes.
And then in the old one, they were security guards. They were dressed as security guards, and then they did the takeover.
Die Hard, boom, like that. Yeah, it's the same thing, basically. So they do their little covert takeover, and then when they take over, both of them have the computer person.
Yeah.
In Die Hard, you remember the guy who is basically, the quarterback is toast. He's hacking the whole system. 1997, you have the woman that is the security guard. She watches over everything. She is flipped for the other side, the terrorists. So she's working for the terrorists.
Yeah.
In Blast, it's a little different. The computer guy, he's actually an undercover person working for the FBI because he got caught being a hacker.
Right.
So that's interesting. But still, same thing. You have the hacker person, just like in Die Hard. And then you have the outside person.
The outside always the outside person.
2004 is played by Vivica A. Fox. She's an FBI agent.
Yeah.
She's basically getting an assessment of the situation. Who is this guy? Find out who he is. And the 1997 Blast is played by Rutger Hauer, who he is basically in the dark the whole movie. And he's in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
He's in a wheelchair and he doesn't have his legs.
Right. And he's got some fake ass ponytail or something. That
you don't see this until halfway in the movie. Because I was like, wait a minute, he has pigtails?
Yeah.
For some reason.
It's just all of a sudden it's just hanging out and it's like, what is that? Yeah.
Was he supposed to be Indian or something?
I don't know. The thing about him is that he's a counterterrorism specialist.
Yes.
But he's kind of offbeat. Everyone's like, this guy's kind of weird or whatever. So he's kind of guiding them along the way of how to handle the situation. AKA, he's collecting a paycheck for making this movie.
I think he moves like 2 times in this
Yeah.
whole movie. In the beginning when he's tapping, and then at the very end where it's the best stunt of all time, but we'll talk about that later. So of course the terrorists take over, but then they forget to get the one person that's the specialist. In the 1997, he was like cleaning up the locker room and everything like that, and then he hears like a commotion. One of his coworkers, actually, he sees her get killed.
So there was a scene that made me laugh with her because she walks into the training where the swimmers are training, and they're warming up. They're just stretching, but they're like, and then she walks up and her eyes light up like a big. I was like,
because she's super excited about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Linden B. Ashby couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, he does not care at all. Like, he's just like, eh. She was so proud to be at the Olympics.
Yeah. Well, she gets killed.
Yeah, she gets killed, and then, he sees this, but he runs into the bathroom. He's able to fight off some of the terrorists with his martial. Oh, we didn't talk about the foreshadowing moment in the beginning of the movie when he's getting ready to go. He kicks up his cane.
That was a theme in both movies. The ability of the hero to kick things. To save it for the end so they can kick up a weapon.
Hey, but he's a martial artist, so he kicks.
Yeah.
So this helps later because, he has something wrong with his leg.
Yeah.
He decides not to use his cane, and he just kicks it up with his leg and sits it like on his TV stand.
Yeah.
That's used later.
Yep.
And so he's doing martial arts. He's shooting at the terrorists and everything like that. And in the 1997 one, they do murk. Well, in both of them, they do murk like 2 of the girls off the team.
Yeah.
So that's the Die Hard thing.
Also, another Die Hard thing that was in there was the head coach of the swim team made a deal with the terrorist leader to catch the hero. And then he gets killed. So it's that one scene where what's his face tries to negotiate with John McClane.
Come on, John.
Yeah,
he was coked out too. Like he at least had an excuse. He was on coke. This guy was just a jerk.
But yeah, going back to the 2004 one, they added in an element that we referenced before, the kid. The kid himself was such a pain in the ass. I hated him. Worse than Jux from Steel Dawn.
This is when I knew he hated him. When he told him like to do his homework, because this was just also bad writing. He's like, I don't have to. You're not my dad. I was like,
yeah.
I don't like this kid already. Like, I mean, I don't hate Jux as much as you do, but this kid is worse than Jux.
Way worse.
He's worse, like in his writing, the acting, how he looks.
Die Hard is known for the great action and the great old school explosions. Where 1997 Blast, not so much.
Yeah. Oh,
not so much.
Are we going to go to the end? Because the ending part really illustrates your point.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The end. I laughed my ass off when I saw that.
What happens? Because it's hard to explain. Because it's like, okay, he rides up to the main terrorist and he stabs him. And then he apparently had C4 put onto his wheelchair, clicks it to go off, with no legs, jumps out of the wheelchair into the pool, tells Linden B. Ashby's wife, hey, jump in the pool too. And the chair explodes, killing the head terrorist.
The worst explosion. It was literally like an overlay. It wasn't a real explosion, and it wasn't a good CGI explosion. It was like an overlay where you see the bad guy, there's an overlay explosion, and then he just gone out of the frame. They cut him out to a different frame.
It was like paste fire and blah. Like it was I'm like you. I was laughing so hard because I was like, "What is that?" Like, and the bombs are ticking away, and he's just like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is he? That was hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, that was funny.
He did the little kick thing for the gun.
Yeah, the kick thing for the gun. In the 2004 blast, they did the same thing. Early in the movie, he kicked something kind of randomly that he needed. Kicked it up, snatched it, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Is that his thing? He kicks. And then later on in the movie, I forget, he has to save himself, he has to do a kick.
A grenade.
Yeah, a grenade. And then he passes the joke that he learned how to kick playing soccer in the hood or something like that. Like they made the that was another thing with in that movie in particular, because he is a comedian. Yeah, where they're gonna have the jokes, but they fall flat, unlike some of the sarcasm jokes from Die Hard.
That's a good point, because Eddie Griffin is a comedian. I think he's like ranked like on the top list on like Entertainment Weekly's, best comedians. I don't feel like they let him tell like good jokes.
No, and that was the thing. It's hard to buy him as a tough guy. So if you're gonna play off the man in the wrong place at the wrong time, just let him be funny. They try to play him off more straight as a tough guy with the occasional one-liner joke, but if they fall flat,
that's why that kid sucks so much. Because if you take that element out of there, if he was just a regular guy that had to overcome stuff, then you could write in more comedy and do that kind of stuff. Maybe he's like going around the ship. He has to like free his like, buddies that are like his crew. Yeah. And then they take over and stuff like that. That could have been a better movie, but they tried to make it this sentimental shit and blah, blah.
All right. Anyways, okay, so that's the two movies. Now, how we're going to do this? We want to rank them?
It's difficult because I'm going to say I prefer Blast over freaking Blast 2004 to 1997 for a couple reasons. Number one, that pool area is not very interesting at all. I swear they used the same hallway like 3 times. Yeah. With Blast 2004, you can make it a little bit better. With 1997, it's just kind of like, man. There's nothing to it because you lose that comedy factor because he plays it so straight. Yeah. And the copy and paste explosion at the end.
So as a Die Hard ripoff, how would you rank both of them?
I would give Blast 1997 a 2, and then Blast 2004 maybe like a 2.5 because they didn't utilize it's so close where they could have did like a little bit of things where it could have been better. Like I like the twist where it was like the undercover
that was good
hacker guy, and they could have been working together, and they're both like they tried to do it a little bit but not enough. Right. Get that kid out of here. Just that kid
was
sucked.
Horrible. Well, for me it's like, so 1997 Blast was trying in the worst way to be like Die Hard. 2004 Blast had some good elements. It just had some shitty things like the kid and some of the other things. They didn't utilize, like we said, Eddie Griffin very much. So for me, on a scale of Die Hard ripoff, 1997 Blast is a 1. It was just horrible. I hated it. I hated it. 2004, I'm going to give it a 3. It was It was okay. It was in the middle somewhere.
Well, Blast 1997 had Shannon Elizabeth in it.
Oh yeah, we did
from American Pie.
That was good.
And 2004 Blast had Shaggy in it. You know the song "It Wasn't Me"? You can catch me on the camera. It wasn't me. You can catch me on the sofa. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I mean, so they assembled a decent, group of actors. Just the movie sucked. Yep. Well, that was Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 24, Die Hard Ripoffs, Blast versus Blast. Peace.
Deuces.